Hello, my friends. Welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday for Tuesday, June 6th, 2023. This is Jennifer. Well, guys, I come to you from a totally unexpected place today. I am back in Austin. If you don't follow me on Instagram, then this is probably a surprise. I have a little bit of a story to share. I'm not going to go into too much detail because we're still trying to undo some stuff, but the very short version is we did drive to New Hampshire. It's approximately 2,000 miles from where I live in Austin, and we had everything ready to go. We had already, our moving pod was already, it was in a storage facility in Maine, ready to be delivered. We had a whole bunch of stuff in the car, like our computers, and I had my jewelry, things that you don't want to go with movers. That was all ready to go. My husband, my son, and I drove to New Hampshire. We went to the final walkthrough for the house that we were going to purchase. You heard that right. It wasn't ready. Not only was it not ready, they had broken a bunch of stuff trying to move out quickly. Things that we had been promised in the contract for the house weren't done, and they were trying to say that it was all going to be done that day, but they weren't being done by professionals, which was part of our contract. Just all kinds of craziness. It was overwhelming. It was extremely upsetting. We pulled up to the house, and it was obvious immediately that it wasn't, that they had not moved out and that it was not ready. To put this in perspective, we drove 2,000 miles to buy a house that we had seen and we had talked about and we had thousands of pictures of. I mean, honestly, not thousands, but we probably do have a couple hundred pictures. And we were supposed to get the keys the day after the walkthrough. We would have closed the next day, less than 24 hours after we walked through the house, and it was not ready. It wasn't even close to ready. There were things that we saw that we didn't see the first time, that were things that were problems that were like behind furniture or behind drapes, and things the building inspector didn't catch. And we just we walked away from that walkthrough. All of us were upset. The real estate agents knew we were upset. My real estate agent was very upset. And within like 3 hours, we decided, just like serious conversation, we decided we were not going to buy the house. It was a huge decision because we were already financially invested. We had already spent money to move some of our stuff up there, but we could see that it was going to be a huge mistake. It was going to be a massive mistake, and we decided that we needed to stop before we regretted everything. So we did withdraw our offer. Sorry, I got a little choked up. We withdrew our offer, and based on the fact that they weren't ready, that the contract had not been fulfilled, we just said, we were like, we're not signing it, we're done. They acknowledged that they weren't finished and apologized and offered us the money off the house if we would still buy the house, and we said no. We said no because from what we saw, all I could think was, what is this house? How has it been treated? If they treated it like this moving out, how has it been treated? What things are we going to find that were broken that we didn't know were broken beforehand? Just, it was too much. It was overwhelming, and every part of my body said that we had to stop. And my husband agreed, my son agreed, and so we canceled. Within 24 hours, we had our deposit back. We're still trying to get our escrow money back, or excuse me, our earnest money, which is an escrow. And that's a whole nother story, which I'm not going to talk about here. It took me 4 days and 4 phone calls to get our pod shipped back. It actually hasn't left yet. It's still in Maine, but it was supposed to be delivered like 2 days later. And because of that, it took forever to get them to first just say they're not going to deliver it. Like, please do not deliver it to this house. It's not my house. And then finally on Monday, I got them to create a new, basically extension on the lease, and a new quote to get it back to Texas. So it will leave Saturday, and it'll be here in like a couple weeks. So we'll get our stuff back. It's probably 25% of our stuff is in that pod. So having that back will be huge. My Juki's in there. My mid arm is in there. My quilt frame is in there. Tons of my sewing stuff. I mean, it probably doesn't look like it, but about half of my sewing stuff is in there. A bunch of my son's stuff because all of his apartment things were being stored in our garage. And so that all went on first. So lots of his stuff is in there. Anyway, so that's headed back. We have decided to I'm just gonna back up because this is not going to be edited, guys. I don't even have my computer set up, so this is going to be as is. um 30 hours is a long time to have conversation, and that's how long it takes to drive from New Hampshire to Texas. That doesn't include stopping in hotels and eating and all that kind of stuff, but that's just road time. But we talked all the way back constantly about what we were going to do now. And we have decided it's going to take us a little bit to recoup some of our expenses. So we're going to take a break. We have talked to our mortgage officer, and we're just canceling the mortgage. We're not gonna go look for another house for now. We're gonna stay put for a while. It could be a year, it could be longer. What we're gonna do now is focus on finishing everything in this house that we started working on, and we're gonna make some improvements that need to be made that are the result of our losing the elm tree in February, because that elm tree is gone. That shaded 80% of our house. So we're going to need to put like more insulation in the roof. Or in the attic, I should say. Attic. It's an attic space. It's not a real attic. So I don't want you guys imagining I have like an attic where I can put things. It's not that. It's just like under the roof over the second floor. Anyway, so we need more insulation. We've got to have other heat mitigation. And then I'm going to get a new kitchen. We talked about it. We're like, we were willing to spend all this money on a new house. This house is paid for. So we're going to have someone come in, and I'm going to get a new kitchen. We're going to update the floors downstairs. Our floors are painted concrete, and they've had rugs on them for years, and the rugs have rubbed away a lot of the paint. We're going to put some new floors down. I'm not doing it. We're going to have that professionally done because I think I'm going to retire from flooring for a while. So anyway, we're going to take care of this house, and honestly, we see it with new eyes now. We still want to move somewhere cooler. That's a big impetus for us, is to live somewhere where it's not 100 degrees for like 90 days or whatever it was we had last year. But for now, we're going to live in the place we live, and we're going to appreciate it. And one question that's come up with a couple of people already is if I'm going to start volunteering again, and the answer is probably not right now, because this is going to be my new job for a while. We packed our entire house. We were ready for movers to come pick up our stuff. So we have to put it all back now. And some of the rooms need some updates, so we're going to not unpack those until they're updated. There's a lot to fix that we found that we've decided now is the time. While it's like this room is not one of those rooms, because I did this room like a year and a half ago. So really the only thing I'm going to have to do is just put everything back. I did take apart my cutting table, so you can't see it. It's over here. It's in pieces. So I'll have to put that back together because that's a big part of my storage, and then we'll go from there. Priority number one today is getting my husband's office set back up because he goes back to work on Thursday. That was always the plan because we were going to get him set up in New Hampshire so he'd go back to work on Thursday. But we've got to get like his monitor remounted to the wall and make sure his computer's set up and all that. So I'm going to help him with that after this. So yeah, I drove 2,000 miles there. I was the driver. It was my car. I drove 2,000 miles back. And we did the return journey in 2.5 days because I've never wanted to be home so badly in my entire life. We did about half a day on Saturday. We stopped to see some friends in Massachusetts, and then drove the rest of the day. And then we drove, just flat out for 2 days. We left Knoxville, Tennessee. I've forgotten what day it is. Tuesday. Anyway, we left Knoxville, Tennessee at like 9 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, and that is I think Eastern Standard Time. And then we were here in Austin by like 12:30 our time, which was like 1:30 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. I kid you guys not, we were at the exit on the interstate and all the exits were closed. There were like four we can get off on, and all of them were closed except for the last one, fortunately. And I got on because I was getting really frustrated. It was almost midnight, and we were just driving, and I was like, they were doing road work, and exit after exit was closed. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to drive all the way around Austin and drive back again. But we finally got on an exit, and then we were 2 miles from home, 2 miles, and there was a freight train, and it was just like everything was thwarting us. But anyway, we made it home safe and sound, and a huge shout out to my daughter. She was pet sitting for us, making sure our kitties were okay, checking the mail, that kind of stuff. She filled my fridge. She left food that was easy to prepare. Because all of our dishes are packed. I'm still trying to find. I haven't found my plates yet, so still working on it. But anyway, she left food that was easy to prepare. She left some treats. She left a welcome sign on our driveway, and just, it was darn good to be home. So I think that's it. That's my saga. We almost bought a house in New Hampshire and we didn't. I'm sad about it. I almost feel like I don't even know how to explain it. My husband put it really well. He said, it's like we made an offer on a house that didn't actually exist, because the way it looked the day we went to walk through, so much had already changed because things had been broken and moved, and the paint was peeling. The paint wasn't peeling when we looked at it. I was just like, I was astonished. Like, how does that happen? How does the paint on a house start peeling in like 6 weeks? Unless it's painted poorly. So anyway, just all of this stuff. So I feel like we really dodged a major financial mistake. And I still love New Hampshire. I still love New England. I think it's beautiful. I would love to have like a 4-season home, but it's not going to be this one. So you're stuck with me in this sewing room for a while. We'll be back in the backyard eventually when I have the ability to finish quilts again. Like I said, no volunteering for now, maybe for a long time, because there's a lot that I need to do here inside of my own self and inside of my own home before I get to there. So that is it for me, you guys. I know it's a really long one and it's unedited, so there it is. Very happy birthday to our own Jeannie. Jeannie, I hope you're healing well. I've been thinking about you constantly. I thought about you both times I drove through Tennessee, and yeah. So you guys have a wonderful week. Have a crafty week. I would love to see your videos. Goodness knows I need it. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.